Okay, thanks for tuning in. Here we're going to take a look in DataDirector at how to print a student answer sheet for a benchmark assessment. This gives you the ability to print out the standard bubble sheets that students will use to respond to the paper assessment that you will hand out to them. And today we're going to take a look at how to print one of these sets of answer pages for your classroom for the reading benchmark assessment that will be given the week of September 23rd. So I'm logged in right now as a 4th grade teacher, and I am going to have to first go through the app switcher to get to the assessment tab in order to get to my answer sheets. So in the upper left hand corner you'll notice that there is a little box that looks like an icon that hasn't completely loaded yet. You're going to click on that icon with your mouse and it will open up a box with what is called the app switcher. And we're going to start by going to the Assessments tab and using the mouse to left click on Assessments. From there, a box opens up with the ability to filter out and find the assessment that I'm looking for. You want to make sure that the current school year is loaded in the year field so that it's looking for the most updated assessment that you want to use with this year's students. Now, if you do happen to know what your assessment ID number is, you can type that into the box and it will search automatically for that specific assessment. However, if you don't know what your assessment ID is, you can always begin by going through each of these filter fields and trying to locate your assessment that way. So I know that my assessment is a reading assessment. I'm going to click that and close out this box. I have 2013-14 is the year that I want, grade level 4, which is what I'm looking for, but if I didn't want grade 4, I could click on that 4 and a box again will open up and give me the ability to choose any or all of the grade levels that I'm looking for, but 4 is what I need, so I'll close that. Test type. This is not a required field to check, but if you do happen to know what your test is categorized as, it will give you fewer results to sift through. And so since it is a district benchmark test that all students are taking, I'm going to select district benchmark and close that out. The ID number I'm going to take out for now, but I'll show you a way to use that ID number as an alternative way of finding your assessment. Then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and this assessment has not been developed by the teacher themselves. It was developed by somebody at district office, and then shared out with everybody. So rather than personal folders, you're going to have to click where it says Shared Assessments, and then you can see that the assessment pops up in the window down here. So I'm going to click on that assessment to open it up. And when I do that, I have all of the information about this particular assessment overview. Now you can say here that it says there's no data available for your 13-14 students because this person's students have not taken this particular assessment yet. So as I scroll down, I can see there's information about this test, how many questions are on it, what standards it's linked to. But what I really need to do is get to the very bottom of the page and find where an icon will say Data Scanner Answer Sheet with student names. I'm going to click on the option where it says with student names. When I do that, another button comes up that says this is Emerson Elementary School, continue to the next step, or print answer sheets for a program. Now we haven't gotten to the very much information with very many people about how to print assessments for specific programs. So we're going to ignore that part for now. You just want to choose continue to the next step to get answer sheets for your entire classroom of students. Now when you do that, you'll see it has your name as the teacher. You want to select the grade level, and then over to the right hand side, this is a little bit cut off from my screencast, but you can see that each of the content areas are listed there that students are rostered for. And what you want to select is the class that matches the assessment that you're giving. So since this is a reading benchmark assessment, I'm going to select reading. And then when I scroll to the bottom, there's a spot where it says Generate Answer Sheet, and I will click that button. A box will open to say, do you want to save the file or open the file? Let's open the file and click OK, because we're going to print this particular assessment page out. Now again, a little bit is chopped off on the right side with my screencast, but you can still see most of what's happening here. You're going to just print out this file that you receive, which will have student names in there for you to be able to just hand out the answer sheet directly to the student. It should have their ID number, the student name, your teacher ID number, and the assessment ID number all completely filled in for you. And then students are just able to put their answers on that particular answer sheet. The one thing that you do want to check is to make sure that your box, when you go to print, your dialog box, has this fit to printable area selected. Basically what happens when you have these answer sheets printed is you want to have what are called T marks. And you can see, we'll take a look at those here in just a moment, what those T marks look like. But you want to have those appear on all four corners of your page. So let's minimize this and let's go return to our assessment, and I'll show you another feature with that answer sheet as well. Say for example you have a student who moves in and their assessment information is not loaded into the DataDirector system just yet. There is a nightly update where students are automatically added from Infinite Campus into DataDirector, but you may not have had the opportunity for that to happen yet, and you want a student to take an assessment for that particular day. If that's the case, you can also print out this data scanner answer sheet without names, generic form. Again, open it up, and you will get the same type of thing, but you'll notice that student ID number, student name, teacher ID number, none of those things are going to be filled in. They're going to be blank. And so what you're going to do then is make sure that when you fill this in, your teacher ID number and all of the bubble information matches what is on your other students' assessments in your class. You want to make sure that they are the same. And then the student ID number, which is off here to the right, will be their state identification number from Infinite Campus. So whatever their identification number is that you see in Infinite Campus, that will be the ID number that you're going to use for that process. And then the system knows where to tag that student information. Now you can see on this particular assessment, in the upper left corner and in the middle, there are these T marks that I was talking about. When you print out your answer sheets, you want to make sure that these T marks are showing in their entirety completely. Down in the bottom corner we have some more T marks there as well. If those are not showing up, then that is something that you want to resolve before your students fill out the answer sheet, because otherwise the scanning system will not scan that correctly. If you happen to know your ID number for the assessment, I said there was another way of finding your assessment besides filtering through all of those fields. So let's go back to the Assessments tab, and I'm going to clear all of this out so that all we have is 2013-2014. And when I do that, now we have nothing in those fields that is filtering our responses when we search for an assessment. So I happen to know that the 4th grade assessment ID is 1489. So I'm going to type that in the search by assessment ID box. And then again, this is not an assessment that was created by the teacher themselves. This was created by somebody else and then shared out. So we're going to click Shared Assessments. And when you do that, you can see that that same assessment that we just looked at and printed answer sheets for arrives in the window. So that is another way of locating that particular assessment if you happen to know the assessment ID number. Then you would go about the same process of printing out the student answer sheets that you see down below. Thank you very much, and hopefully that is a help to see how to print the student answer sheets for DataDirector Common Assessments.